I always belonged in the industry.
Okay.
But I think Tezaab made me feel like I have like kind of arrived, you know.
Yeah.
That finally I got the success that was like dodging me all those 4 years that I was working, and finally the success is there, and finally, you know, I have kind of proved myself that I can be really good.
Yeah.
You know.
Proved it to the world. You already knew.
Yeah. Proved it to the world.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Yash Chopra, and on today's episode of Tell Me All, I have with me an actor who's been a part of the industry for 40 years. She's one of the many reasons why people fell in love with films. 4 decades, iconic roles, unforgettable songs, and a presence that till date defines what grace truly means. Hi, ma'am. Welcome to the Quint.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
When I was saying that, you know, that you've been a part of the industry for nearly 4 decades,
40.
over 4 decades now,
Yep.
what are some of the thoughts that instantly come to your mind when I say that?
Some of the things that come to my mind is how much I have enjoyed every bit of it.
Nice.
It's something that I love doing. I'm so fortunate and grateful that I loved that I have been given the chance to do that. There have been ups and downs and everything, and I think through it all, I guess I have thoroughly enjoyed the journey.
We've thoroughly enjoyed watching you and continue to watch you with just as much love and respect. Ma'am, I do remember reading, and of course it's something that you've spoken about earlier, that when you did get your first role, you wanted to first finish your studies, and your parents were also like, let's finish studies first, right?
Yes.
How did you manage to convince them to say, okay, no, you know, this is what I'd like to do now?
My mom and dad, they have seen me dancing since I was 3 years
Yeah.
old. They didn't need much convincing. It was just that my mom's family and my dad's, they come from a very orthodox background.
Sure.
And so we were a little worried that they might not like me going into the big bad world of films like
Yeah.
they used to believe. We went and met the Barjatias, we got to know them, you know, and we discovered that they're such lovely people who have so many family values, and you know, they are like their movies.
Yes.
You know, exactly. So we went to my great grandmother, well, she was alive at that time, and we talked to her and we said, this is the thing, and you know, they have asked her if she would do a film, and would you mind if she does a film? And she just looked at me and she said, yeah, I've seen her dance, and you know, she's very good, and if she works hard, I think she will do something good. So let her, we will not object to her going to
That's
films.
amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so forward thinking for
that
her
generation.
time. And my mom used to tell me that she was the one, my mom used to want to learn to dance when she was little, and she was refused. My mom's mom refused it. She said, my grandma said, no, you cannot do this. Girls from good families don't dance. You can learn to sing.
Yeah.
But my great grandmother then secretly used to call her and say, okay, bhajan lete, and bhajan pe I'll teach you a few movements, you can do
How
those.
cute. Yeah.
So she was very forward thinking for her time, and I'm so glad she said yes, and you know, here I am.
We're also very glad she said yes and that she was forward thinking. Ma'am, when you think of the initial days in the industry, right, is there a set that instantly comes to your mind and you feel like, I would love to go back on that set?
Maybe Choli ke Peeche kya hai set?
Yeah.
Because it was so beautifully lit by Ashok Mehta, the late Ashok Mehta. I mean, he had done a brilliant job in that. The way everything looked so beautiful, the colors are jumping out at you, you know, from the screen. Or the set of Hum Aapke Hain Koun, where we all developed such real bonds, you know, and the last day of the shoot, they played the song Tumse Juda Hokar, and we all started crying. We all started bawling eyes off, because we knew now, you know, we are going to part, and God knows when we will like work together again or meet. That set was like all heart, or Devdas sets. I mean, that one in the film city where I did Mar Dala and Kahe Ched Ched Mohe, and the memories of Birju Maharaj on the set, you know, teaching me, or Sarojji and Sanjay Leela Bhansali, and Shah Rukh Khan and Aishwarya, and you know, it was so beautiful. That set, or you know, there's so many sets I've worked on. I really have to go back in time.
Yeah, I think this answer itself can take a 1 hour.
Yeah.
Because there are too many films to talk about, because there's been such solid work that you've done in your career that I'm sure we can sit and talk about each one of them for one hour.
Or any of the sets like Beta or Raja or Dil, where we all used to go crazy, we used to be laughing. You know, the shot is on, the camera's in the corner, cameraman is in the corner laughing because we are just joking around, and so masti, you know, on that set was amazing.
Do you remember your first day on the set though?
Yes, I do remember. It was for Abodh, and I just walked in on the set, and I didn't know that sets don't have real walls. And this was like a room, they'd created a room, like a big room and a big house. And I was talking to someone and I put my hand on the wall and I leaned against it. So you know what happened? It just went through. Because it was just like paper canvas like that, and it just went through. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
But is there anything else that you're kind of reminded of the initial days in the industry? When you think about it, when you just came, the 80s, the 90s, something that you think about and say, oh, I wish वो चीज़ें अभी भी ऐसी ही same होती, क्योंकि बहुत बदल भी चुका है अब.
Yeah, it's different, but I think it's changed for the good.
Yeah.
I've been saying that in every interview, but there never used to be vans and you know stuff like that. We had to just
change.
Yeah, change outside, shawl laga do, ye kar do, and we used to work like that.
Yeah.
But today we have, you know, all the comforts, and we're taken care of, and but I think there was something magical about even then, you know, working through all that, and I think because of that we used to get very close, like family, you know, the whole group used to become like family because we used to take care of each other. Now it's a little more, I think, professional, like you come, and of course there's so many other things to do, you know, while you're doing your shoot or whatever. It's like, oh, the social media, oh, you got to do a reel and you got to do this and you got to do that. There's so many other things that you're doing that it doesn't leave time for you to you know, get to know your co-star or, you know, sit and chat with someone, or you're just in your own world.
You know, that's something even I miss about meeting actors for interviews. In those days when we came on sets or we came somewhere to meet them, there was this comfort, there was some familiarity.
There's a warmth, there was a, but now it's all about quick, let's go, let's do this, we got to do this.
Ma'am, like you said, like in those times we used to take care of each other, we became like a big family, right? Is there like a mentor or a co-star that you thought really helped you in your career along the way, or really helped you, means, you know, was like a great friend, just a good year, somebody who supported you a bit?
You know, the thing was that we used to work like crazy at that time. We used to do 2 shifts.
I don't know how.
Yeah, so, and there was a point in my life where I had to do 3 shifts in one day because one of my films got delayed. So the dates got all messed up.
Yeah.
And I had to like reprogram everything to fit all the dates that were, oh my, don't ask me.
Yeah.
So I was doing 3 shifts at a time.
Exhausting.
So really, yeah, exactly. So really we didn't have like anyone mentoring or saying or doing. We just learned as we went, like on the sets with the directors, then whoever the co-actor was, you know, at that point, all the actors around us.
Yeah.
So we kind of learned on the job, literally.
And is there a film, when you think back to the last 40 years, is there a film that comes to your mind, you feel like this is the film that changed things for me in the industry?
Well, to begin with, Tezaab, of course, changed a lot of things for me, because till then I was getting work, but my films were not doing that well till the point Tezaab released, and that was like amazing, and that's the first time I felt I was recognized, and not just as Madhuri but as Mohini, the character I played, you know. So that was amazing. Yeah, exactly. And still do.
Yes.
And still they want to see Ek Do Teen, you know, whenever I go for performances or anything.
And when you did your first film, and I think that was in 84 and Tezaab was in 1988, right?
Yes.
So I know that even during that time, like you said, though Tezaab made you the star, made you Mohini, but critics always loved you from your first film. People loved you from the first time they saw you on screen. But when that wait has to happen, right? Like to become that star and to be an actor already, does that ever... was that kind of difficult, or did it?
It was difficult in the sense you knew that, you know, you had it in you, but it was not happening. So I was doing these films, and also at that point I didn't know whether I wanted to do this full time or I wanted to go back to study. So I had one leg in one boat and the other in the other, and I was just, you know, waffling on what I want to do, because everybody in my family is like very well educated, and I thought I'll finish my education and then maybe go into this, but there were so many jobs I was getting and people reaching out and saying, so I did small roles in, you know, 2-3 films like Avara Baap and Swati. I was a second lead, so that it was only 15 days of work and then I could go back to my studies, you know, that kind of a thing. Subhash ji told me that, you know, you are so talented, so why are you doing this? Like, I want you to do my film, and I don't want you to do all these small roles. And we didn't know at that time about films, and ki chote mote role mat karo, so you don't get a lead if you play smaller roles and stuff like that. So he said that, you have to stop doing these films, and I want to introduce you to films again in a very big way, and I want to sign you. So that's when then I came to my senses and said, okay, this is what I want to do full time.
Would I be right to say then Tezaab was really the film that made you feel that you belong in this industry?
Well, it made me, I always belonged in the industry.
Okay.
But I think Tezaab made me feel like I have like kind of arrived,
Yeah.
That finally I got the success that was like dodging me all those 4 years that I was working, and finally the success is there, and finally, I have kind of proved myself that I can be really good.
Yeah. Proved it to the world. You already knew.
Yeah. Proved it to the world.
Yeah. So was there like an interesting or a fan moment from that time, from Tezaab time, that stays with you even till now when you think of it?
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times, or I'll say it again.
You can give us a new one if you like.
I'll give a new one.
Okay.
So I was on this airport, and there was this little kid, like someone carrying a small child, looked like 18 months old,
Sure.
to me, and they came to me and said, she's a big fan of yours. Dekho, Mohini auntie, like that, pointing to me and saying, Mohini didi, dekho auntie, or whatever he said. So I'm like, oh, hello, how are you? And she was a little kid, and she looked at me like that. Ab Mohini hai? I said, yes, I'm Mohini. So she said, Munna kahan hai? That's when I knew that this kid really has watched the film a lot of times, and she knows. God. Yeah, it was amazing, and she was a big fan.
I thought it's going to go in a direction of the kid didn't know, but the parents were trying to kind of talk you through the
No, that's
kid.
what exactly. The kid just turned around and said, "Where's Munna?" Like I was like, "Wow."
But initially, even you thought, ना
Yeah,
ऐसे
पहले मुझे ऐसे लगा, मुझे लगा कि mom and dad are pushing her, to. But she loved Tezaab, and she loved Ek Do Teen.
18 months.
She loved, 18 months old.
Madhuri ma'am, a little earlier we spoke about Ek Do Teen, and of course a lot of your songs that still continue to be, pop culture references, and people still continue to love them. But when you think of Ek Do Teen and shooting that song, what is it that comes to your mind instantly? What was that day on the sets like? Do you remember anything about that set?
Well, when we were going to shoot Ek Do Teen, I remember Sarojji, because she had worked with me in Uttar Dakshin, which I had done before, and with Jackie Shroff and Rajnikant ji.
Yes.
She said, you do Indian dancing, but when we do this Ek Do Teen, I want it to be a very Bollywood kind of dancing, and you are a good classical dancer, but I don't know about Bollywood, whether you'd be able to. So I said, no, I'll do it. She said, no, you have to rehearse. I said, yes, you're teaching to the choir. I'm going to come and rehearse with you. I knew that I could do it, but somehow because of the camera, it always used to restrict me somehow.
Okay.
That it's different dancing on the stage, because you just belong, it's open, you can do whatever you want. But here, because of the camera, you have to look at the camera, but you're dancing here, and all those kind of things. So I said, I want to rehearse my steps so that I don't have to think about my steps. I can concentrate how the camera is operating and how, and that's what I learned from Sarojji. The Bollywood style of dancing.
Yeah.
And when we were on the set, it was a huge set. There were so many people, like a lot of junior artists. On the last day, he just wanted to do a section where he wanted to shoot the whole audience going crazy. So, but they had only a limited amount of junior artists. So what they did was they went outside, और जो भी आता जा रहा था, बोले picture में काम करना है, आ जाओ. So they're grabbing people off the street, and they filled up the whole studio with the people, and then they played the song, and people just immediately loved the song, lost it, and there was one guy who took his shirt out,
it's there also,
and he threw it in the air, and others followed. Just because he did it, other people started doing that, and N. Chandra got like the best crazy people kind of shot, And then we had to do a retake. And he actually announced, said, I want you all to take off your shirts and throw it in the air. It was amazing. That shot was amazing.
I think just when the song must have played, everyone would have realized, ye Gana hit hai. We don't have to.
Yeah, initially when I heard the song, I was a little like, why is it Ek Do Teen, like that, counting and all. Then I realized she's counting the days. And that's how Javed Saab wrote the song then.
Yes.
And when we did it, I mean, it was like, we just had fun with it.
Do you sometimes, when you're talking about these things, do you feel like you're there right now? I feel like you shut your eyes right now.
Yeah, it was like I'm there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
If you had to speak about Hum Aapke Hain Koun, like you said, it was a set that really made you feel that everybody became a family, right? It was also a film, I feel, that changed the way India watched films. It became that big. People wanted more of such a film. It was a long film, but nobody thought that the world will go crazy for the film, right?
Yeah, when it first was going to release, people had started saying, "Oh, it looks like a shadi ka cassette, and we're just watching shadis.
Yeah.
What movie is this?"
Yeah.
But once it reached the people, they just took it up,
Yeah.
and it became like 32 people going together, like families, two,
Yeah.
3 families getting together and going. It became like an event for
Yes,
everyone,
yes.
like an outing which is full of fun and the Indianness, the tradition, everything. And it says a lot. I remember in one of the theatres that put little lights on the side of the screen. And when Didi Tera Devar used to play, the lights used to call and blinking lights used to come on. So it became like a thing,
Yeah.
to go and see Hum Aapke Hain Koun.
It's like a festival, like
It's
we're
like a
celebrating your
festival.
wedding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the celebration, a festival, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Hum Aapke Hain Koun.
Yeah, and then after that, people wanted more films like that.
Because it talked so much about relationships and the dignity of the relationships.
I agree. Yeah.
And the traditional values and the culture and everything, and that's what caught people's imagination.
I think the other film that you've often spoken about is, of course, Dil To Pagal, and I always said that Yash Ji's sets always felt like a dream to you.
Oh yes,
Right?
absolutely.
What was so different about his sets that felt like that?
I think with Yash Ji, I think the way he imagined women was amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much romance in the imagination, and the way it was shot, like the jugalbandi between the drums and me dancing.
Yes.
I think that was so beautifully done.
It
Just
was
that one
stunning.
light, me in white, and just dancing, and it was stunning. That's how
Imagination.
the roles for women that he had in his movies, even before that, like when he made his older films, the women always had very important roles to play.
Yeah. They always had agency.
Yes, they always had agency, and
Yeah.
that's how he looked at women, and which was amazing to me.
Yeah.
So I always cherish his sets. Also, he was so full of life. I mean, he was vibrant,
Yeah.
and never took more than 3 or 4 takes.
Really?
Yeah, he always believed in spontaneity. Wow. नहीं मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. ऐसा very good. चलो next like that. So he made movies like that, and he was so passionate about movie making.
Yeah, I remember watching, I think, that Jugalbandi, I don't know, a million times in my life. A million times. We'd all try it, nobody could get it.
Oh.
But I don't know any...
No, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that Birju Maharaj had choreographed for me.
Yeah. When you think about this film, was there a scene from this film that's very close to your heart that made you feel things?
Well, I thought there was so much romance in the film.
Yeah.
There were so many nice romantic scenes, like the Aur Paas scene,
Yeah.
or at the end where I say why I love you, I tell Rahul, and so all those scenes they were like amazingly written, and they were so romantic on the stage, and everything happening in front of the people. I thought it was just very, very beautiful and very romantic.
In the other very, very beautiful set
Also the
was-
Valentine scene when she's shopping
Oh,
for
yeah.
herself. I don't have anybody. I can be my own Valentine and she's shopping for
But so
herself.
cool, right? For somebody to think of this that time.
I know.
And today people
Yeah.
proudly say, I'm
Yeah,
not a Valentine,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
selling myself flowers. But to do it at that time.
Yes.
So I guess you're right, he was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
ahead
Of
his
his
times,
yes.
and really wanted to
Always.
give women agency. See, I didn't think of it back then like that.
Ah.
It just
Back
felt
then you
cute.
watched you thought it was cute, and you thought
Yeah.
it was like amusing and entertaining.
Yeah.
And,
Another set that I'm sure was one of the most beautiful sets as well that you've been on is Devdas, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that role was very demanding emotionally. How do you then prepare for something like this? And does a role like this change you in any way, personally?
Well, for Chandramukhi, I think she was an internal lover. I looked at her as Meera, who's never met her idol, but she's in love with Krishna, and she knows it's never going to be returned. That love is going to be like one-sided. And so that's what I thought about when I thought about Chandramukhi. And of course, working with Sanjay Leela Bhansali is amazing. The way his eye to detail, every little thing, even one fold in one of the curtains, if it's like disturbing him, he's going to,
I've heard that.
Yes. So he's very particular about that. And to work with someone like that, to be presented the way I was in my Chandramukhi role. I think it was amazing. And of course, working with Shah Rukh and Ash, all of that was amazing. The sets were beautiful, the costumes. Though I complained they were so heavy, but they were beautiful.
Every time I look at you, I'm thinking how you dance in such heavy outfits.
It was so heavy that the lehenga for Kahi Chhed Chhori Mohi was very, very heavy. Like 3 dressmen used to lift it up and get it, to my...
And then you danced in it.
And I had to dance in it. But it was all worth it.
Also in the middle, for some time, when you did say, okay, I'm going to take a little break and step away and focus on some other things, this really comes from a person, I personally believe, someone who's very secured. Someone who's not scared to say, okay, for some time I'm doing this, मैं आती हूँ थोड़े time में.
Yeah. Because the thing is that I'm very secure in my own skin.
Yeah.
I'm
it's very evident.
Because when I thought I need to get married and I met the right person, I just got married. Why not? I mean, I didn't think about, what's going to happen to my career? Will people accept this, that, and the other?
Yeah.
It was never on my mind at all. It was like, yes, I found the right partner for my life, and
which is so difficult nowadays.
And exactly. And I'm going to take this chance, and I'm going to make it happen. And I did. And when I wanted to come back, I came back, and it's so I don't overthink, things.
Yeah.
Because if you put your mind to it, and if you're working hard enough, you're sincere with what you're doing, I think you will never be like out of work or something. You'll always be doing something. And I'm the kind of person, I'm always doing something. I cannot be sitting and not doing anything.
Even
if I'm
today?
not doing this, I'll do performances. If I'm not doing performances, I'll be doing something else.
But we were talking about, of course, marriage and stuff. For me, Madhuri ma'am, when I had a kid, I thought that I became a new person. Like I feel motherhood makes us into people that we never thought we could be. It makes us feel differently, become very different people. What did that phase of your life, and of course it continues to be so, what are some things that you realized about yourself that you never knew was you?
But I always knew there's a mother in me, because I have taken care of my nieces, nephews, my neighbor's kid when I was growing up. I used to love kids.
Me too.
Yeah, and anything, anywhere, any kid, I'm ready to take care of that kid. So, so I always knew there's a mother. But of course, when it actually happens, it's a different thing, because once you're playing with your say sister's kid and looking after them, at least at the end of the day you give it back and say, okay, I'm done for the day. But when you have your own kids, you're never done.
Till I don't know what age.
But I enjoyed every minute of it, and I realized that it is such a responsibility taking care of, another little life. So and that too, that life which you have brought into this world. So it's your responsibility to make sure that they're nurtured, they're taken care of, you look after them, and give them the right values to, to instill whatever you have learned from your parents into them, and give them that confidence, give them your strength, give them, everything that you want your kid to be. So I think it's a big responsibility.
And every day is a new thing. Mine is
Every
10.
Every child is a new child. You have the first one, you say, I know how to deal with, childbearing and child caring and everything, and the other one comes and he's completely opposite to the first one. So I'm like, oh my God, they don't come with manuals. You have to figure them out.
That's when someone says, what advice would you give somebody? I'm like, you can't, because every child is so different, every family is so different, that it can't work the same for anybody.
No, and it's like figuring them out to know how they are thinking, and then you got to behave
because we have to allow them to be themselves as well. Give them space to grow.
They have their own personalities.
Aisa hi karo. This generation, I think it's amazing how individualistic they are. And I don't think I had the guts to say one thing, but when I look at this generation across, I feel it's amazing how empowered they are by their parents specifically.
We have done that. We have done that because we didn't have that.
That's what.
We were not empowered. We had to learn. We had to empower ourselves. But here we are empowering them, so they are ready to face the world when they go out into the world. They have to face the world on their own strengths.
Yeah.
And unless you don't empower them with that, they will not be able to do it.
So to always empowering our kids.
Yes.
And
always.
empowering ourselves.
And ourselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Madhuri ma'am, if we could just talk about when you did, took that little break, you came back and you said, now, Cholo, I'm ready to work again full time, and you did that. What is something that you felt the industry looked different or it felt different to you? Did anything feel different?
Well, a lot of things were different by the time I came back. It was more corporate.
Yeah.
It was more organized. We had bound scripts. We had everything like...
That's one thing
Yeah.
every actor says.
Yes.
It's a blessing.
Yes, we had our dialogues. Right to the last sentence, we had our looks worked out for us.
Yeah.
And we shot the film in like 3 months.
Yeah.
So we knew exactly how much time it's going to take and stuff like that. So all those things, and I think the most significant change that I saw was when I used to work before on the sets. The only women on the sets used to be you, the co-actor, and the hairdresser. That's it.
Yeah.
No one else in any other department. But now you see girls everywhere.
amazing.
Women taking, center stage, like a DOP being a woman was unheard of at that
Yeah.
time. And now you have women DOPs, you have script writers, you have directors, you have ADs, you have everywhere. So I think that's the thing that really stands out for me.
Yeah.
That's a change for the positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. You've, of course, in the last few decades, seen stardom yourself. You've seen co-actors who've been stars continue to be stars. You continue to be a big star today. But do you feel like the definition of stardom is slowly changing what stardom means today?
I think there are many stars today.
Yeah.
Like it's not just one star, like not just movie star. There are influencers who are stars, there are YouTubers who are stars in their own right, there are Instagram stars, there are people who are doing crazy things, and they are stars. People who are discovering so many different things, creating different things. Today the definition of a star has changed in that sense.
Earlier it was just big actors and the world was going crazy
The
because there was no
entertainment
access.
was, films was the only form of entertainment. Today
Yeah.
there's so many different, screens that you have.
Ma'am, 40 years in the industry is not just a milestone. I feel like it's a legacy. Like you've built a legacy. Today, what makes you say yes to a film or to any project?
Today, for me, the project has to be exciting. It has to be something that's challenging to me as an actor. And of course, the director at the helm has to be really good.
Yeah.
The production who's managing all that has to be good and make sure that it is done in the way it has been planned. So all those things matter to me today. But most of all, I think it has to be something that it takes me a step forward, from what I have been doing so far.
And I'm thinking this is why you're doing Mrs. Deshpande.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
you're trying something new.
Yes,
You've
absolutely.
never played this kind of a role earlier. I'd love to know a little bit about the role that you're playing. I've seen the teaser and I think it's very, very interesting. So please tell us more about this.
Well, Mrs. Deshpande is about a serial killer,
Yeah.
as you know. And I think this is for the first time in Indian cinema or Indian screen that you will see a female serial killer, if I'm not wrong. For me, the challenge was the layers that this woman has. If you look at her, she's just an ordinary housewife, but there's so much more to her.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't have to shout or scream or to make her power felt.
Yeah.
She could the silences can make people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I can imagine
And
that.
also the fact that though she's working so closely with the police, as you'll find out, people will see the teaser and everything, and the trailer, though she's working with them, but there's still a thing that can she be trusted, because she always has her wheels always churning, she's always thinking way ahead of everybody else, and she can be like manipulative a little bit, and she can be all those things. So that makes her very, very appealing to me as an actor.
Sounds very interesting. Sounds very
as
interesting.
an actor. And I thought it was very challenging. But I was very assured that Nagesh is at the helm, and he's such a good director.
He's amazing.
He's amazing, and
Yeah.
so I knew that he'll do full justice, to me and me to this role.
Of course, Nagesh Kuknur is also somebody, when you look at him or think of him, he's somebody you instantly relate the words realism, grit,
Yes,
and there's also a rawness, I feel, in the films that he does. Working with him, what has been so different working with him as opposed to all the directors you've worked with?
See, working with him has been because he's unaffected by my image, because he has not watched very many of my films.
Really?
He's watched a few, but not very many. So he doesn't have any preconceived like ideas about who I should be and what, and that helped me a lot, because he's someone who could come and tell me, no, a little MD was coming into this, as Madhuri Dixit said, MD.
Yeah.
MD was coming into this. I needed to be like
Mrs.
Deshpande, Mrs. D.
Oh, okay, Mrs.
It's MD and Mrs. D.
Mrs. D.
So we used to have that, going on between us.
And even after so many years, Madhuri ma'am, when you are on a set, do you feel you walk away feeling like you still learned something from each project?
Absolutely. Not only on sets, every day of the life I learn something new.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm a constant learner.
Yeah.
I'm always open to ideas. I'm very curious as a person. Like when I meet people, I love to talk to them to know what's going on and know what they're doing in their lives and how people think, and so that helps me even play my different characters, But it's my innate curiosity that will always be alive.
But that's lovely. My last question to you. We know that you're going to work for many, many years, even more. Okay? Maybe say another 50 years later, when someone looks at your
50
films.
years?
I'm saying 50. Chalo, 60 saal baad.
Arre baap re.
When, people are still watching your films, watching interviews, what is something that you want to be remembered by?
I think I just want to be remembered by how I made them feel.
Nice.
Whenever they saw me on screen.
Yeah.
And I think that is what will carry you forward, how you made people feel.
Yeah.
That is the thing they'll carry with them. Not what you did and what you have achieved and all that. But when they saw me on screen, say in any of my movies, Hum Aapke Hain Koun, how did I make them feel?
I think you always made people feel good. Or you always made them feel something for sure at all times. But thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you
so
for your
much.
films, and really looking forward to watching this.
Nice talking to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.